Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Right? Yes. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another live. Good to see you all here today. Finally, a day before United are going to play a weekend of results that have been nothing short of very favorable for United. And to be fair, not particularly surprising either. We are at that time of year. We are at that time of year where you separate the men from the boys, where you see all these little clubs who were October champions, October and September top four candidates, Champions League pretenders start to fall away between November, December, and all of that. And we're in that period. We're seeing it. We look at Bournemouth and the Iraola train has run off the rails, and many others in that case kind of floundering a bit down the table. Would have been nice if Leeds had beat Villa too. They are Aston Villa are massively overperforming. I expect they will fall off a little bit again as well. But that's okay. That is all right. Regardless, this is where we are today with the opportunity. Yes, the opportunity to go into the top four with a big win against Everton, mind you, but top five for sure with a win. But this is where United need to show up. Are we men or are we boys? Is this United team back on track or not? We're going to find out. These next few games are huge. Huge, huge, because these are the games we should be winning. It's okay to drop points in some of the games that we've dropped off and things like that. It's okay against the tough sides. We're not expected to be better than Arsenal or City or even Chelsea, though we did beat them. We're not expected to win every single game. But these next ones we should. We should be winning 2 points per game at a minimum over the next bunch of games. That means we've got to win those games at home, get some draws on the road in some of the tougher games like Palace away. You take a draw there. But these are ones we've got to win, especially at home. But it's really, really big. It's the best run of form. It's the best time for all of this to happen for us. It's the best time for United to be into the thick of it. It's the best time. So hopefully we can take our advantages. I watched all the games, not every minute, obviously, but like I've watched quite a number of the games, including that one. That Spurs team, again, I think we were just incredibly unfortunate to not win that game as well, especially considering what happened, the injuries and the things that occurred during that one. But I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, well, how the fuck did we not beat Spurs in the Europa League final last year? How did we not? How did we lose to that team? How did we not win in Europe? And I have two things to say. Number one, who gives a shit? Honestly, who gives a shit? It's the past. The past is the past. It is what it is. We didn't beat Spurs in that final. But there's another thing to say. Tell me who started at number 9 and who started in goal, because we never had hope of winning games against tough teams in away competitions in a Europa final with Onana in net and Højlund up front. We just had no chance. When that's your 9 and your goalkeeper, two of the most important positions, if not the most important positions on the pitch. We never had a hope. We could have played 300 minutes and we were never scoring with those players. It just wasn't going to happen. You could see it. We never had a chance. So it is what it is, my friends. That's the past. We must move on and accept what has happened, and we're moving forward from it. And we have this opportunity now, where we are in the league, where we are in the table, where we are in building this team, to make up for the past and build towards the future. Come on, camera, focus on me properly, eh? Some weird things with its focus where it keeps hitting the microphone. So different team, different side, different United, different everything. I will say, though, I am amused because over summer, I remember there was a lot of panic about Spurs. A lot of panic about Spurs and the signings they're making. And I said, it's very Spursy signings, a lot of Spursy types of players just I don't see what they're actually doing that's going to make a difference there. But, it is what it is. Yeah, there was a clamoring. Remember 2 games in? Frank's already implemented his system. Remember that? I remember enjoying that, saying, guys, good Lord, like 2 games in. How did Thomas Frank already get his system in 2 games? And Amorim hasn't been able to do it. How did he get his system in 2 games? It doesn't take that long. Those are the narratives that always crack me up. People really do very often want to claim victories on narratives and things like that far too early. I don't want to do that either. There's a lot of time left to run in this season. When we had our 3-game winning streak, I remember saying, I think we'll get top 4, top 5, as I've said all season since the start. But I didn't do like these big giant victory laps either, going, you're all wrong and you're all stupid and you're all idiots because the fact is, I said, we won games that we will lose in the future and that we lost in the past because we still have inconsistencies and we still have flaws and we still have players that can't do the full job. And I said, we could go and lose to Forest and it wouldn't mean anything. It's the same stuff. Let's just give it time and see how we sort over the course of the season and see what progress we make. And that's how we should all feel right now. And that's why I think these games are really important coming up. We have an easier schedule. We have easier games. These are the games we need to start to continue to see a bit more growth, a bit more consistency, a bit more control, and all of that. That's what we haven't seen recently yet, is that control. But football's crazy. I mean, Newcastle have been shit. And look at what they did to City the other day. And, everybody was hyping Ireola the other day, for a while. And I think Ireola is a good manager, but everybody was like, oh my God, Spurs, Liverpool are going to sack Slot, get Ireola. Ireola is the next big thing. Yeah, I think he's lost 4 games in a row now or something like that. It's rough. And he's a good manager, mind you, but a lot of teams are riding their luck and a lot of things happen. There's so many judgments in football that are made in October that are wrong. I think 80% of what you think in October is going to turn out to be wrong. You just got to wait till always the festive period is when you learn a lot about a team. November through January, that's it. That's when you know what a team is. This is it. This is where we are, and I'm so excited that the football is going to be coming every few days because this is it, guys. This is it. These next 8 weeks, we are going to know where this United team is. You can't fake this over these next 8 weeks. It doesn't matter. You're playing so many games against so many teams, and by the end of it, you've gone through, you're at 21. You're more than halfway through the season. You're through the majority of your fixtures, and you've played everybody once, and you're like, okay, where are we? We'll know, and we'll know where everybody is, and we'll either be in that conversation where we should be in that competition for top 4 or 5, or we'll be way beyond it, unfortunately. But I think we'll be in that conversation. But this is the time to make judgments, and this is the time. This is the time to make judgments as well. This is the time to find out what we are doing at the moment, okay? And where we're at, and I'm quite excited about that. When are we going to finish our chat names? Fix our chat names? I know, YouTube, what the hell? Arsenal used to win the league by November, then Christmas hit. I know, and that's why I'm still looking at this team, and people are like, oh, Arsenal, they're going to win the league and such. Maybe they will, guys. Maybe they will. They're 6 points clear of Chelsea, 7 points clear of City. But you know what? Every single season, Arsenal have, the last 2-3 years, I think Arsenal have been around it, looking like the most likely side. And the festive period hits, and they end up right back into the mess. Right around, someone is always catching them through the Christmas period. We'll see. For everybody, we will see in January where we're at as well. I'm not going to go too high or too low on virtually anybody. I expect we're going to see a lot of changes. Clubs like Newcastle, I imagine, are going to go up a little bit. Sunderlands, the Brightons, the Palaces, I think they're going to drop off, and we're going to see some differences here. Arsenal play Chelsea next. That's a huge game, isn't it? But it's also a huge opportunity for us once again. Imagine we win this week. There's a world where we can go second next week. Seriously. It's not even outlandish. If we win this week, now who's getting ahead of themselves after I just went on this whole rant. If we win against Everton, and the next week Arsenal beat Chelsea, we could seriously go second, depending on what happens, obviously, with the City result. Like, we could actually be second in the league. Be nuts, right? But we'll see. Even a draw, Arsenal-Chelsea, we could end up in second, potentially. Low likelihood, but you never know. But no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. But no, look, this is when we're going to learn. This is when we're going to learn. A couple of news items. Let's talk about a couple of news items before we move on to talking about more of the game and doing our lineups and all of that kind of junk. Okay, let's talk about a couple of news items. Number one, coming to us just now from somebody, a South American, who reported on originally Diego Leon's transfer to United, saying that there's a chance now that he could go out on loan. And I think that would be a brilliant idea. Get some game time experience, get some first team experience. He's been doing well at the under 21s level. And I think what's obvious with Diego Leon is that he does need to play in the men's game as a part of his development further forward. It says he has a chance to go out on loan in the January transfer window. He wouldn't mind leaving United to get more playing time and experience at another club. I think that would be a really, really good move. I want a lot more players going out on loan. I want to see us just loan, but Diego Leon looks physically more than ready to play the men's football game. He is not refined enough to play in the United side yet, which is totally fair. Totally fair. He is not refined enough for that. So, but I don't think him playing at the youth level is going to do a ton for him, because physically that's not an issue. We can already see that. He needs to play in a first team environment for sure. So I'd like to see that happen. That would be, to me, a very, very good move, obviously alongside someone like Cunha. I would love to see us work with someone like Wolves, like we talked about, and potentially Gomez sending Cunha or Leon or somebody over there. But Championship would be good. Even a little lower than that could be good. We know how these loans to other English sides could work. If it's to the continent, fair enough as well. Just somewhere where you can speak the language maybe would potentially help too. But, there's a lot of good potential loans out there that I think would make a big difference for players like Diego Leon and would be quite helpful. So that's one thing. He's 18 years old, but I do think that getting more minutes in a first-team environment is important for him, and I don't think he's going to get those at United at the moment, obviously, from what they've seen. He needs certainly more refinement in that respect. Yeah. But he's barely played at the senior level, so, it would be good. We look at what it's done for guys like Ahmad. We've seen it. We know. Just go out on loan, get him somewhere. So that would be a great move there. We don't have questions about his physicality and all of that in terms of Diego Leon. So that's good there. Amos has been doing well. Yes, that's a good sign. So I think that we can repeat that with Leon would be very, very nice. In addition, there is, I would say, there's some news on Casemiro, sort of. I think that if you watch the video from Fabrizio, it's not the same as maybe how people were taking it. We already know, for what it's worth, it's not new news. We already know that that United were thinking with the idea of extending Casemiro on a lower wages. That's not news. We already know this, by the way. We've talked about this for like a month now. We already know that's an idea, that they would do that if they could. Same with Maguire. The problem with it is he has not been willing to take the much lower wages at the level that we would be offering. I'd be okay keeping Casemiro at a lower level. However, unless I would still rather replace him and sign 3 midfielders this summer. I would rather replace him, sign 3, and use the squad spots for somebody else, like we've said, like replace him with Gomez and then get your Anderson and another as well this summer to level up the first team, and really build a full squad. I would still rather that. But United have not been against the idea of keeping Casemiro, and they have been looking at that option, but on a much, much lower wages. We're talking about a wage that is more reflective of his position moving forward in the squad, which is not going to be the starting 6. He would move down to pecking order probably into like Ugarte's position, and then you'd sign the new player to go in front of him. So you'd be talking about like 100,000, 125,000, as a backup. That's a good for an experienced, top attitude, top professional who understands what is wanted, who comes up big in big moments. And if you weren't asking him to play 90 and be the main guy, it would probably extend his usage even further. I think it's fair to do that. But at the same time, I think it's fair to do that. But it's at the same time, it is. He doesn't want to necessarily take that. We've heard from many good reporters and many people that, that essentially he has bigger options in terms of wages elsewhere. He's got more options in other places, and he will. The MLS, potentially Italy, Saudi, things like that. We've definitely seen reports even as recently as this last week from the Times and otherwise that he's very likely to leave. And I still think that he is very likely to leave as far as everything I've heard, because he's just, he's not been open to accepting such a low amount when he can get a lot more elsewhere. Maybe he'll change his mind. But I think that it would be a mistake still, personally. I don't think United should bend over backwards to extend it. I think we should just go for new midfielders. I'm open to the idea, but I'm leaning the other way. I also think that you got to be wary of what happens when you give a player a new contract who is older. Do you see the fall off after that at that point, and then it becomes pointless? At the same time, he's also able to get a deal anywhere in January. So we're 38 days away from Casemiro being free to sign a contract with somebody else, okay? And I'm not sure that speculation will be very good either, but I also think that, at that point in time, he's likely to leave. I think Casemiro will go still. I think that's the more likely thing that will go on. I think that's the more likely thing that will go on, is that he will do that, is that he will still go because he's not looking to accept that kind of offer from us. So still most likely he's going to leave. Still most likely we'll be moving on more players. We've got really no denials of that Gomez story from yesterday, which is interesting. Nobody's really confirmed it, but no denial. So, the club have been really, really good at keeping things quiet, but so we'll see about that if that's happening. For me, that would be an obvious signal that Casemiro's going. If we were to sign João Gomez, by the way, I think that would be a very, very obvious signal that Casemiro will be going. Maybe that's still part of what's in question. Casemiro's playing for a buffer contract somewhere. Probably, yeah, because I think he could get some big money, bumper contract somewhere else. I think he could get some big money, potentially, if he goes somewhere else. I think that's certainly on the cards for that as well. But yeah, opportunities alight for us right now at this club. We know that there's going to be a lot of things that can change by the end of the season as well. So Diego Leon likely to go out on loan, it sounds like, or at least open to it. Casemiro, yes, we know we do want to. We would be looking at an extension for him, but so far there hasn't been any improvement or progress on any of that front as well. So we're looking at alternative options. In terms of this game against Everton, what do you guys think about Everton this season? What do you guys think about Everton this season? I've been thinking about Everton this season, you know, in terms of what I saw them in summer and what I've seen now. And you kind of know what you get when you play against a Moyes side. I think that the Everton game is going to be somewhat similar in how they play us to the Spurs game. If you look at how Everton tend to attack, how they tend to play, a lot of dribbling down the wide areas with Grealish, with Njai, dribbling down the wide areas. They can be kind of firm defensively. They're physical. Don't get me wrong on that front. Like, they are quite physical. They win a lot of duels. I worry about that. I worry it's going to be like the Spurs game in a respect. Like, it's hard to know how that can go. The Spurs game for us, we defended well against it. We shut it down, but I don't know that we'll win our battles in the middle. That's my biggest concern with this team. They can dribble through those wide areas well. They're not really a counter-attacking side. They're going to attack you into the box from those wide areas. And I worry without Maguire, you know? Without Maguire in the team, that worries me. That concerns me. Because we have this problem. I was thinking about where we were at after Spurs and sort of the conclusion I'd reached about this team. And essentially we have a problem, which is that we haven't been good. Like, so the midfield that we have set up, I'm trying to explain this. The midfield that we have set up, Bruno and Casemiro, it works to a degree. It works to a degree because it works better than what we've been doing. The downside on it is that it gives up control too easily. We were countering this with long balls to Šeško from the goalkeeper and solid box defending. We have a problem, which is that Šeško is out. So our long balls from the keeper up to Šeško is not going to be as viable an option. Now, Everton don't press that much. In fact, they're one of the lower pressing sides in the league, but still. We don't have that option to release the pressure as much as we might have, like, say, against Sunderland. And we don't have Harry Maguire to defend in the box. So we were giving up control, but being very solid in defending our own box and being able to release the valve to Šeško when we were giving up too much control. We don't have Šeško for this game, and we don't have Maguire for this game. We saw without Maguire against Spurs, they attacked us a lot. They were a lot more dangerous in attacking us. It really wasn't all about Casemiro. A lot of it was about defending in the box. Wasn't nearly as good when Maguire comes off. And secondly, if you look at Forest, it was the same thing. Forest were able to score in a couple of minutes against our box defending. Maguire didn't play in that game. We were weak in the box against those crosses, against those wide attacks. And they scored a couple of goals against us. So if we can't defend in the box as well as we have, we're better. We can score goals. We know we can attack. But we've got to somehow concede fewer chances. We've improved on it a little. We used to be like 18th in the league. Now we're down here 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 13th in the league. But we still have to play this game, so we could still be in that bottom 5 in terms of chances conceded. You know, we still concede too many chances. And this is the reason why, is that it's okay if we're going to box defend, if we have really good box defending, but we lose on set pieces. Without Šeško, without Maguire, we're not going to have some of the same sort of advantages, okay? So I do worry. I am worried because I think that over these next few games, especially against the smaller sides like this, we have to figure out how to control games better. We have to. Why can't we just ask Bruno and Casemiro to stop giving the ball away and play professionals? I agree. Like, this is one of these things about the whole debate over Casemiro and Bruno and all of that, where I think people are still rating it way too high. I've said before, it's our best midfield. That's not saying much because it's been our only functional one, because it allows us to attack quickly. It allows us to go at them quickly. It allows us to score goals. It allows us to create chances. Yes, but it loses control of games. And when we don't have a Šeško as a pressure valve, and when we don't have Maguire to defend in the box, now it's a problem. Now that midfield starts to get worse and look worse and worse and worse. And it's been getting worse and worse and worse. You can see it against Brighton. It was fading a little bit. Against Forest, it faded a lot. And against Spurs, it was awful. And it's rough. What's up, Sammy? So this is my big test for us over the next few games. As I was saying in sort of after Spurs, this is where I'm at. And I'm feeling like, what do we do? How do we solve this problem? How do we solve this problem, right? And it doesn't mean we won't win. I am worried about the game, but it doesn't mean we won't win. I'm saying we have a better team. We have a good enough team, talent-wise, to win all these games. We have a good enough team, attacking-wise, to score enough goals to win all these games. But where are we in danger of dropping points unnecessarily to teams we should be beating? This is the answer. This is the main thing that is wrong with it right now, where we have to see an adjustment here. We've seen adjustments like areas that they've worked on where the center backs, like, they weren't being aggressive enough, they got more aggressive. We've seen improvements in certain areas, the goalkeeper and how we're varying the build up more. We've seen those types of improvements. This is the thing that's going to kill us. I've been talking about this for weeks, and we're seeing it more and more and more. So long as we don't get control of these games, we're going to be in danger to drop points against sides we should be beating. And the reason is the midfield. The reason is the midfield. Testing. There we go. All right. Tell me if it's crackling again. It just, I don't know what happened. It's just dying. It's dying on me. Tell me if it's crackling again when it's coming back. I feel like what's happening is that it's winter now, and there's like this crazy static buildup, and it's like it's hitting something, and then it's like busting the connection to where it just like goes. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's connected, and then it'll just like lose its whole thing. So it's like a static buildup or something. Okay. Hold on, we're just invisible. We're just invisible. We're invisible. Hang on. What's going on here? Okay. We're back. I think we're all back. How do we do that? Hold on. No, yeah, see that one's still gone. How weird. Okay. All right. Well, we're back for this one at least. Yeah, we're these are some crazy gremlins going on right now in the system. They're driving me nuts. Anyway, we're back now. So, yeah, computer generated, you know, that's I guess where we've been. It's like it's one of the inputs is frozen on the other thing, and then this one I'm here. So I still sound American. Shit, I meant to put on the local Manc accent filter, but I couldn't get it to work, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, Ten Hag uploaded a virus. Yeah, whatever. All right, well, we're here. So good to see you guys again. Welcome back to the video. Where were we? Best impression of Dallo ever. If only Dallo was invisible. Unfortunately, he's all too visible. Too mean? Too mean? I think it's mean. That was a little mean. That was a little mean. But anyway, what I was saying, I guess, if I was trying to remember where we were, is that, yeah, I'm just concerned. Maybe we need to change our midfield again. Because we need to play with the ball more, you know? I need to see some adjustments here. Somehow we need to see some more legs in that midfield. I don't think we can afford, against these smaller sides, I don't think we can afford to play a midfield that's going to get outfought and outworked when we don't have Šeško and we don't have Maguire defending at the back. I think we need to change it again. I think we need to figure out a different way to play. And it's rough because a lot of it hasn't worked. You know, a lot of it hasn't worked in the past, but we've improved on other aspects since then. With Šeško out, my first inclination would be to go to like a Casemiro Ugarte midfield again and move Bruno up. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to move Bruno from the middle, but that would be my first inclination because then at least you get the legs, you get some combativeness, you can move Bruno up front, you get a little bit more retention. You don't get the weakness of Ugarte running around and being overly aggressive because you have Casemiro's coverage. It worked last year. I don't particularly know why we completely went away from doing it because it makes sense. It was our best midfield last season. Still to this day, don't know why. One of the questions I have for Amram is why he dropped that completely. I don't think he's going to do that. But yeah, I don't think Kabi will start because he's only returned to group training like yesterday. So that's an issue there. Yeah, Casemiro and Ugarte got us to a Europa League final, and then Casemiro and Bruno lost it. So yeah, I'm still a little bit baffled. A little bit baffled. I have to say the chat is the funniest place when you have techno problems. I know it is amusing. People come up with funny stuff. No, like I don't I don't have trust in it necessarily working out. I think it would be potentially better. Somehow we have to fight with the ball a bit better. And I don't totally agree with the take on like us losing on ball quality. We lose our hero ball quality, but Casemiro and Bruno have been dog shit at retaining the ball. Far worse than Ugarte and Mainu would do in terms of retaining the ball. It's not on the ball, actually, that's been Ugarte's problem this season, ironically. Not at all, actually. He's been better in retaining the ball and things like that. He hasn't really even been making those kinds of mistakes. It's he's just not a good 6. He just leaves too many gaps in the way that he challenges and is aggressive and out of possession. But that's where I'm kind of like, I'd like somebody to come on and be safer with the ball, keep the ball. You could play Casemiro. You could try Casemiro on Mainu, though I just don't think it'll be combative enough in there. I still don't think it fixes the legs problem. But I somehow we need to be able to keep the ball better in possession while having more legs out of possession. Yeah, it's the defensive stuff, but it's because he's playing as a 6, not as an 8 with a 6 next to him like he was with Casemiro last season. And he does not have the awareness or the discipline for the 6. It's just a fact. It just hasn't worked, unfortunately. So I ain't got the answer, Sway. I don't know what to do, but something's got to change. For me, at the very least, I would add in Joshua Xerxy, because even last season, I know Mount supports the midfield pretty well. Cunha does a degree of it pretty well. I think Xerxy also, we saw last year, did a really, really good job helping us retain possession when he was on the pitch. He's a little bit more dynamic in certain ways than Mason Mount is in dropping into the midfield. I mean, sometimes he comes so deep and he's bigger, stronger, so he is better. You know what he is better at than Mount? Mount is fantastic at his little one-touch, drop in, ping the ball over to somebody else, make little combinations to help you keep it. Where Xerxy has a big leg up on him in possession is he can dribble. He's got amazing ability to dribble the ball for his size. So he can drop in as a 10, get back to a defender, spin off of him, turn, drive the ball into another space. He's better at dribbling with the ball by far than Mount. Mount is not a dribbler at all. And I think that's what we're lacking most of all. We were talking about this, how we need carriers in this team right now. It's the biggest thing that we're missing at the moment. I think Xerxy could bring that solution to us. Mount, Xerxy, and Bumo if Cunha's out. Yeah, if Cunha's out, I would do that. If Cunha's in, I would just put Cunha for Mount. I really, 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 really want to see Xerxy, Cunha, and Mbumo in the front 3. I really do. I just have this feeling that Xerxy is going to help us control the game. I just think he will. I just feel he will. And in these smaller games, we need it. We need it so bad right now to get a little bit more control. And I don't see it happening because he's loved Mount so much, but we're lacking size. We're lacking carriers. He does a lot of the things that we would need and that I would like right now as well. In my opinion, anyway, that's kind of how I see it. Mount helps us keep the ball as well, but differently. I think Xerxy does it in a way that is more lacking at the moment. We don't need more passers and more one-touch players. I want carriers of the ball, man. I want someone to carry the damn thing. Like, I'm begging. Look at Ahmad, right? What is Ahmad so good about? Like, what makes Ahmad so fantastic? Why does he stand out in this team so much? You know what I mean? It's his carrying, his dribbling. Ahmad can grab the ball, turn, evade pressure, take it up the pitch, get it into the areas you want it in. He's so good at evading pressure, at dribbling out of tight spaces, at doing the things you need him to do, is Ahmad. He's so good at it. And he's like one of the best carriers out wide in the league right now. We need so much more of that. We're just shit at carrying the damn ball. It drives me nuts. Like, we need dribblers. Emmerham is a team that usually wants dribblers, and we have no dribblers in the side. And the problem as well is that whenever we are asking Cunha to play at 9, he can't do that. And that's his best qualities. And that's why he's been, I think, a bit inconsistent. We've seen when he's gotten to play in the 10 that even if he's not scoring, he's done a lot in a lot of games to help the team by taking it from deeper, carrying it into the areas we want it and getting it out of pressure, helping us solve build-up solutions. But the fact that he keeps having to play in the 9 means he can't do that. It's irritating. Like, it bothers me. We're not because of like it's a mistake, but it's because we keep having to do that because we're still a bit short, you know, in the way that our team is set up. In the way that, that's why I want another forward, because I'm telling you, we keep having to change positions too much because every time there's a setback or a little injury, we have to change positions because we still don't have enough forwards. You know, I haven't complained about Cunha because I understand what he's doing. And it's so important to the team more often than not that goes under the radar. But we lose that a lot when he's in the 9. We lose it a lot when he has to flip up front a lot. It hurts us. So it sounds okay. I hope Cunha is ready. I hope he's fit. It sounds like he's okay, like a minor knock or something. It sounds like what happened this is what I think, is that he took a knock to the head and he went for concussion protocols. And because he went for concussion protocols and they needed to monitor and test him, that's why he couldn't go attend the lighting festival that I'm not going to pronounce again because I forgot how to pronounce it. That's probably what happened there. But as long as he's all clear, then there should be no problem being in the squad, because it's not like he would have a muscle injury or something that would prevent him from maybe being able to play fully or run. If he took a blow to the head, but he's not concussed or anything, then he's not like he's losing fitness or have any reason not to play. As long as he's good, he's good. So it sounds, we haven't heard anything except that it seems like he's okay. So, but maybe he was being saved for observation later. That would also explain why they called it medical. You know what I mean? On their Instagram page, because he was maybe in concussion protocol getting a test just to make sure he was all good. So yeah. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay for sure. Yeah. I hope so anyway, but Monday night, man, it's so long, but it's so long. It's a holiday kind of weekish over here in the States, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So my schedule will be a little chaotic this week in terms of videos and things. I'll be doing them when I can, because kids and family, everybody's off, and I'll kind of be off my day job and everything. But yeah, I'm very excited. And then next Sunday, I think it's a 5 a.m. game against Palace, which is nuts if I'm not mistaken. Do I have that right, guys? Is the following game for United? It's it's 5 a.m. on a fucking Sunday. Why did they do this to me? 5 a.m. You know what sucks? You know what makes me so sad? Our next game after this is a 5 a.m. game away in London. Like always. It's always an away game in fucking London against a tough team. These early kickoffs. Every single time. I swear to God, it feels that way anyway. That it's an early kickoff. I know, 4 a.m. for you, Saminks. An early kickoff away in London. Right? It's always that. It sucks because it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough performance. It's going to be a hard one for them to play, and it's at 5 a.m. And it's going to be like you're hoping for a draw out of that game. It just pisses me off, man. It just pisses me off. I'm not complaining from the perspective of the players. I'm saying I know it's a difficult game, and it's always the 5 a.m. ones. It's like, can I get a 5 a.m. that's like Burnley at home so I can watch a 4-0 smashing or something? You know what I mean? Can I get a 5 a.m. against Wolves? Like, why does it have to be these games at 5 a.m.? The hell, man. Give me something easier. Like. Then you know what the next? It's even better. Are you ready for this? Guess what the next 5:30 a.m. game is for United? You know what the next 5:30 a.m. game is for United after that? It's Man City. I'm telling you. Why is it always these fucking games? Why? I mean, this one... It's at home at least, but we get City. The next early game is City. So I have to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to watch us lose to City probably. Like, what the hell? Oh no, it's Leeds. It's Leeds and City. Actually, the Leeds one is okay. The Leeds one is okay. The 4th. It's the Leeds and City. The Leeds and then City. So it's Leeds might be okay. Then it's City. Yeah, it's Leeds and then it's City. Okay, Leeds is okay. Leeds I can handle. Semenyo signing.
Semenyo / Jan signing update boss.
Hey, where's my alert? What happened to my alert? Oh, I know why. It was underneath. All right. Still low chances, my friends. Couple of things that I was definitely, told is still that, as I've said before, we do have an interest in Semenyo. We are around it. I still would not rule it out based on everything I've heard. But obviously our chances are slim. But I would not rule it out as of yet. I would not rule them out doing something crazy in January as of yet. So whatever. The Coca-Cola bottle's making me jumpy. Yeah, nah, maybe it is. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, let's see, guys. Let's see what happens. What about João Gomez? Same as. I mean, I think João Gomez maybe has a better chance of getting him if we go for it. I really, really, really would not rule out United doing something though, because I know what they're thinking, and I understand the way that they operate, and it's not a panic, but I can very much see them looking at being more ambitious in January, and I think they should. All right, guys, let's look at Everton. A couple of things here on Everton, by the way. If we look at Everton, like stats wise, look, see there, I'm invisible again. It's got the wrong hold on. Hold on. Now I'm huge. There we go. I'm gonna have to fix this later. Ay. So much stuff to do. All messed up. It's all messed up. Anyway, all right, we're back. We're back from being invisible. Again, Everton, one of the lowest counter-attacking sides in country, similar to Tottenham. They don't get a lot of shots. They don't get a lot of counters. We're gonna have to play them the same way I think that Spurs game was. Try to defend, deep-ish in that respect. They're not particularly a pressing side either. Higher numbers, worse, remember? So they're all the way down here. They're going to defend. We're just going to have to score some goals, but I just worry about us defending for the most part. All right, let's do our squad vote. The usual site that I use is for some reason just like not working. I don't know why it keeps giving me errors. I don't know if anybody else uses Lineup Builder, if the site is busted, but it feels like it's busted. One more thing before we do the squad vote. Go and get your picks in. Link is below. I've made my picks. I think there's going to be more than 3 goals in this game. I think we will score in the first half. I think Šeško's not going to score or assist because he's not going to be playing. I think that Mbumo and Ahmad will combine. So this is my safe bets. You can make between 2 and 6 selections. I went with 5. I put $6 in. I could win 120 back. You can put as much as 10 and win 375 if you combine your picks well. I think this is potentially easy. I mean, it's always unpredictable, but I think you could potentially win this game this week. Again, as little as $1 or up to 10, and every entry is entered to win $25,000 in a giveaway. So go and get your picks in below, and we'll see you guys over on Big Up on Monday. And when we watch the game, we'll see the outcome of all of this. But these are my picks in there as well. So come compete with us and get your picks in as well. And I guess it's not a competition because more of us can win. It's just a fun game. All right, let's do our team vote and all of that. Make sure you head over to that link. Who are we going? Let's start up top. I think with the injuries and the little changes and things that we have, it's going to be an interesting lineup compared to usual in terms of the vote. Let's start. Who do you guys want to see at striker? Cunha. I guess Cunha and Xerxy are our two options. We should win this comfortably. I think I'm going to try this for the first time, but I have a gambling personality. If I don't win anything, then that'll be it. That's fine. That's fine. And again, it's not like gambling in the same way because you can't like infinitely spend money, which is the only reason I promote it and I like it as a fun game. It's more like every week I'm willing to spend $5-6 to play a little game. You know what I mean? Rather than like I can just keep betting and betting and betting. You know what I mean? I don't bet. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to encourage people to do that. But I think that it's fun in the structure that it's set up. We're going to assume Cunha's available. It's Mercury retrograde at the moment. Electronic malfunctions ever. Thank you for telling me. Usually my wife keeps me informed on that, but she forgot to mention. All right. Looks like Xerxy is going to win this vote for you guys. A slightly different site, so apologize if I'm a little bit, if I mess anything up here. All right, let's go right 10. I think this is going to be obvious, right? Nobody's going to question who should be starting here. I mean, I guess we could like toss Bruno into the equation, some random stuff here and see. Bumo was on the left last time. Not that it particularly matters, but Mercury retrograde. I don't know. It's just something. It's just a thing. It's just a thing, guys. All right. That was fast. That was 100% for Mbumo over there. So. All right. Let's go with left 10. Now I'm curious. Are we going for changes today? Mount Bruno. Let's put these three. Do we move Bruno up? No. It looks like everybody's going to want to stick with what we're doing. Remember, this is what you want, okay? Not the prediction, but what you want. Not your prediction. Mbuma one ended fast. Yeah, well, this one's ended pretty fast, too. All right, so people would like to see this front three. Fair. Fair enough. That's fair. Left wing back. Well, I got to ask, do we want to see, like, Shaw out there and see if we can get like Yoro, Mazraoui, Delict in the back three? Like, is that something you guys would like to see, or are we going Dorgu? I would only vote for Bruno left 10 if Cunha's 9. Fair enough. All right. We're being not very creative, which is fine. I think we all kind of just want to see some basic consistencies here. Just going to put a few votes up here. Who's voting for Dallo? Whoever votes for Dallo needs to get the side picks itself. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think we need to change the midfield, but I don't have the answers yet. Like, I don't have a solution that I'm confident will work yet. You know what I mean? That's the biggest issue. Like, I could be like, yeah, you know what? We should do something in the midfield. But, like, what's the alternative here right now? What is the alternative? Yeah, The Ahmad one will end that at 100%. That's an obvious one. The Ahmad and Bumo ones are always like, those are like, we don't even have a fucking question about these two, which is very nice to see. Ruben in the chat picking his cousin. Let's go Shaw, Yoro, Mazraoui. I got invaded. Hold on. Actual gremlins this time. Actual gremlins. You might actually see Dallo Maz at right left wing back. Ugh. Yeah, that would be for me a massive mistake, because that would be back to where we do this thing where we're preparing for the opposition to play them their way at home. Like if we play Dallo Mazraoui because they have good attackers out wide, we're basically saying, all right, we're going to sit in and have to defend against Everton and give up all our attacking threats. That's how we lost to Brentford away. And that's what I hope we never see again, because that was a mistake and it was discussed within the club as a mistake in the way that we prepared for that game. So I would be really disappointed, personally. Select one is nailed on. We know that. Go right CB. No particular order intended there. Yeah, especially without Šeško as well. Like, we cannot afford to go defensive on the wide areas. Whereas Maguire, he's not fit. He's not fit. We can't vote for Maguire. He's not here. Yeah, we can't set up to play defensively against Everton at home. We really cannot. Got Lenny. Yeah, we don't need to vote for goalkeeper. So our guys that we don't even need to think about, it looks like based on the votes, are Lamens, De Ligt, Shaw, Ahmad, and Mbumo. That's good to know. All right, so there's your team. There's my team. It's identical. We've once again done it. We've got the same team, except mine have cool badges next to them for some reason. So yeah, whatever, right? So yeah, we've got the same team again. So this is becoming part of a pattern where, at the very least, we have accord in the United community, at least mine. Over the course of the season, it's been getting closer and closer, and now we pretty much see it the same way. I do think that we may need to do something in the midfield to different, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is yet. I don't have the right answer yet, but I feel something needs to change. I feel that something needs to change. And I think a lot of people probably agree with me on that. Like, we'd all be open to seeing some change in the middle. We're just not sure what that answer is yet. I think that's where probably almost all of us are at. And I understand people want to see Mount on the pitch too. And I think he definitely could play there too. But I think we're all in this state of like something's still not there, but I'm not convinced it'll be better yet. I think we could mostly agree with that. Like, we're just not sure. Weekly checkup to see if the younglings are in line. Exactly. So yeah, I'm not sure. Do you think we'd see Lacey and Fletcher on the bench? Well, let's think. If that was our 11, who would be on the bench? Menu, Ugarte, a keeper, Mazraoui, Dallo, Mount. Who am I missing? Lissandro, perhaps? So would there be a space or two spaces for somebody else, for some young players? Yeah. So Lacey and Fletcher could be in the side. Yeah. I mean, regardless of if you swapped like if it's not that lineup, you'd still swap one for one. But Hayden Heaven, okay, yeah. So maybe there's one space for a youth player. There might be one space for a youth player in this. How many is on the bench? 9 or 10? If it's 9, you probably get one more. One youth player. If it's 10, then we could get 2 youth players on the bench. So I don't remember what it is if it's 9 or 10. Then we could get 1 or 2 youth players on the bench. 9, so 1. So 1. Yeah, so 1 youth player. So it could be Lacey. Could be Fletcher again. Be cool if it was Lacey. To me, that'd be cool. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's our vote. That's the game. I'll be publishing my preview later tonight, so make sure to catch that out and watch it when you get a chance. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow with the pre-match live, the watch-along, the post-match, the 4.5 hours of being on camera to watch the games. Hopefully, it's a good one. So I'll be back tomorrow for all of that. I appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Make sure to get your picks in at the link below as well. Otherwise, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the game. Hopefully a good one. Hopefully I see you there. Otherwise, afterwards, whenever. Till next time, good luck to you all, and yeah, let's hope for a big, big win tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure to like the video on the way out. It means a lot. Helps me a lot. Appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. And I will see you all later, okay? Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.